Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, tonight, by the grace of Allah Almighty, we will resume the Tafseer of Surah Al-Inshiqaq, the splitting ascender. Surah Al-Inshiqaq is a Makki surah, and basically Makki surahs speak about life after death, prophethood and monotheism. In this surah, Allah will speak about events preceding the blow of the trumpet and events that will take place when mankind will be resurrected from their graves. Surah Al-Inshiqaq, verse number 1. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ. Translation: when the heaven is split asunder. My noble audience, in the past surahs, for example, Surah Takwir, Surah Infitar, Allah Almighty has made mention of certain events that will take place before Hazrat Israfil alayhi salatu wassalam blows the trumpet. And basically, when the trumpet is blown, certain events will take place. And if you were to encapsulate the impact of the trumpet, it is destruction, annihilation, obliteration. Everything will be destroyed. Now Allah Almighty says, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ, when the heaven is split asunder. So there's going to be a time where the heaven above us will start to crack. It will start to break. Why will it break? Why will it crack? Because Allah Almighty, His presence will be felt by the heaven. I'll give you an example from the Quran. Right now there is a throne of Allah Almighty. And the throne of Allah Almighty is carried by 4 angels. Right now it is carried by 4 angels. Because it is a normal day. وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيَةٌ. But on that day, when Allah Almighty's appearance will be felt by the arsh of Allah Almighty, it will become very, very heavy. 4 angels will not have the physical power to carry the arsh. To support the 4, there will be another 4. There will be 8 angels that will be carrying the arsh of Allah Almighty. Right now there is 4. On the day of Qiyamah there will be 8. Let's say there's a table in front of me, as you see. It has the physical potential to carry the weight of 50 kilos. And the legs will not shatter. But if we were to put 200 kilos upon this same table, the legs will collapse and it will drop to the ground. Likewise, on the day of judgment, there will be the manifestation of Allah, the appearance of Allah Almighty. And basically, the arsh will become very, very heavy. And the malaika of 4 will come to support the 4 that are carrying this arsh for many, many, many centuries. Now that same weight will trickle down from the 7th heaven to the 6th. From the 6th to the 5th, 5th to the 4th, 4th to the 2nd, 2nd to the 1st. And you will start to see that the asman will start to crack. The asman, the heaven above us, will start to crack. And it will start to break. This phenomenon has been highlighted, pinpointed in verse number 1. Translation once again. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ, when the heaven is split asunder. Verse number 2, وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, and listens and obeys its Lord, and it must do so. Now basically, everything in this dunya is bound, is forced to obey the command of Allah Almighty. The only two species that are exonerated from this principle are the humans and the jinns. Allah has given the human and the jinn the ability to oppose and decline the order of Allah Almighty. But there are many creatures and many creations of Allah that are much larger than us, much more powerful than us, much smaller than us, that cannot be seen with the naked eye. They all obey Allah Almighty. So Allah Almighty in verse number 2 says, وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. The cracking and the breaking of the heaven upon us, above us, is basically the command of Allah Almighty. Allah has decided on that day that everything that was intact, everything that was in a sound position has to break. كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Everything will to be perish. Next verse. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ. And when the earth is stretched forth. And when the earth is stretched forth. Now basically, when humanity, jinnat, will stand from their graves, because jinns are buried as well. Keep that in mind. Jinns are buried as well. The first jinn, whose name is Sumia, Allah Almighty asked him, what would you like as a gift? He was the first jinn, like the first human being, Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, the first jinn, Sumia. What would you like? And he said, I would like to be invisible, number one. Number two, I would like to live a very long life. And the description of long life is when a jinn reaches an old age, he returns back to the primitive stages. And this cycle keeps going on as long as Allah intends. That's why it has been made mention that there are jinnat that have lived for over 1,000 years. And the third gift that he asked from Allah Almighty is that when we do eventually die, we want to be buried. We want to be buried. When Allah created Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, what do you want as a gift? He said, I want Jannah. I want Jannah. And basically he was rewarded with Jannah, and that is our true destination. And whatever effort we are making now, it is basically to return to our true destination. Now on the day of judgment, when the bugle, when the trumpet is blown, and humanity stand from their graves, the land on which they will stand will be stretched. Because right now there's, let's say, 7 billion human beings. 7, 8 billion. It is the land in which we are buried. This is the same land where the nation of Adam was buried, the nation of Nuh is buried, the nation of Musa is buried, the nation of Isa is buried, the nation of Muhammad is buried. They're all buried on this land. So when the trumpet is blown, humanity will stand from this land, from this Arab. Now it has to accommodate for all past, present and future generations. And they're going to be many, many, many billions. So how will Allah accommodate for the masses that are basically in billions? Allah Almighty says, وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ. And when the earth is stretched forth, Allah will give it the potential, the ability to stretch forth. It will be stretched. Imam Razi in Tafseer Kabir, he makes mention that when the mothers make dough and they place it in front of the cooking pan, the mother rolls something on that dough and it starts to stretch. Basically, this land on which we are will be stretched in a similar fashion. How will it truly take place? No one knows. But Allah has the ability, يَقْبِضْ وَيَبْسُطْ. These are two qualities of Allah. يَقْبِضْ وَيَبْسُطْ. Yaqbid means He contracts. وَيَبْسُطْ, He allows it to spread. And we basically see this. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الطَّيْرِ فَوْقَهُمْ صَافَّاتٍ وَيَقْبِضْ. We see above us the bird. It pulls its wings in, يَقْبِضْ, and then it pulls it out. So Allah Almighty, in a same fashion, will allow this land to contract when a bad person is entered into that land, that it starts to contract, it starts to press upon the person that is buried in it. So it has the ability of yaqbil. It contracts, it squashes the person that is buried inside. And the same land has the ability to expand. So when pious people, inshallah, us, inshallah, when we are buried in the grave, with the naked eye, it looks very, very claustrophobic, very tight. But once the soil is thrown above that grave, from inside it will expand. Does it make sense? From inside it will expand. So Midan-e-Mahshar, the land on which we will stand, will expand. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ. Verse number 4. وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ. And has cast out all that was in it and became empty. Allahu Akbar. Everything that was embedded in the ground, was lying in the ground, will be thrown out. Nabi Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the hadith is in Muslim and in Tirmizi, Ana awwal, I will be the first. مَن يَنْشَقُّ عَنْهُ الْقَبْرِ. I will be the first to be resurrected from my grave. I will be the first. So the first grave to split asunder, to open up, will be the blessed grave of Nabi Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَأَقْسَلْ حُلَّةَ مِنْ حُلَلِ الْجَنَّةِ. So when I stand up from the grave, I will be the first, or I will be adorned with the attire that will be brought from Jannah. So the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stands up, فَأَقْسَلْ حُلَّةَ مِنْ حُلَلِ الْجَنَّةِ. Attire will be brought down from Jannah, and the Nabi of Allah will adorn himself with that attire. And then indeed, the Mubarak graves adjacent to the grave of the Nabi of Allah, the grave of Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar and Hazrat Isa, they will split asunder. Then the Mubarak graves in Jannatul Baqi, then Jannatul Mu'alla in Makkatul Mukarramah, and then the graves between Makkah and Medina, and then the graves of the entire world. And everyone will walk towards one direction. Just like an arrow is released from the bow and it knows its target, humanity stand from their grave, they will know their target, they will walk all in one direction towards the day of recompense where their deeds will be evaluated. Does it make sense? So Nabi Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that I will be blessed with a attire from Jannah once I stand up from my grave. Why? وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. Once again, and listens and obeys its Lord, and it must do so. The Asman will split asunder by the permission of Allah. Right now, Allah does not allow it to break. Even if there is weight, Allah says you can't break. The land right now, many a times has put an application to Allah Almighty, Ya Allah, your servants are disobeying you, give me the free ticket that I can swallow people. I can turn in vengeance towards these people. Allah says, you do not have the permission. Right now, you are a receptacle. You are a container. You accommodate the living and the dead. You have no permission to punish right now. The same message has been reiterated in verse number 5. And the land listens to Allah Almighty, it obeys Allah Almighty, and it must do. So when Allah says, all right, now it is time for you to break up, it's very hard for land to crack open. It's like, this is my ardh, this is my ardh. To cut my hand and allow it to open up so you can see inside demands a lot of pain. The land goes through pain, but it breaks open by the command of Allah Almighty. It endures that episode of pain to fulfill the command of Allah Almighty, and Allah says, وَحُقَّتْ, and it must do that. Allah says, you be in a conducive environment to not pain, alhamdulillah. In pain, alhamdulillah. We have no option. Next verse is a very, very important verse. And I would like to spend some time on this verse. Ya ayyuhal insan, innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqi. Before I translate it, I would like you to lock this verse in your memory. Lock this verse in your memory. Try to learn this ayah, and whenever a person feels that he is weak in practice, weak in faith, weak in pursuing his goals, his noble goals, his ambitions, aspirations, read this ayah. Focus upon the meaning. Try to understand the deep, profound meaning that this verse contains. Now the translation, Ya ayyuhal insan, and this address is not to the believer. This address is to every single human being. Ya ayyuhal insan, verily you are returning towards your Lord with your deeds and actions. A sure returning as you will meet. Now basically, Qadihun ila rabbika kadhan basically means effort. Everyone is going to return to his Creator. Everyone is going to return to his Creator. The path by which he is returning to his Creator demands effort. Every day brings a new challenge. The challenge of today will be replaced with a new design challenge tomorrow. It may be less intensified, or it will be more intensified, but there's a challenge. Let me add another verse to this. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Every single human being has been created in toil. Even a wicked person makes an effort. No human being can live in this world without toil. Everyone is making an effort. Now, if a person makes the right effort at every junction, he is rewarded and he is elevated to the next podium. He makes the right effort, he is rewarded, he makes it to the next podium. And basically the ultimate podium is, and this is the reward of the right effort, that he makes it in front of Allah, and Allah says, I have blessed you with my grace, go to Jannah. So it is step by step, step by step. Now Allah addresses insan. I'm going to make mention of something and then I will bring it back to the ayah. Many years ago, I was traveling to Pakistan. And Singapore Airlines used to go to Pakistan. Many years ago. The Pakistani brothers will remember, many years ago. So we stopped at Singapore airport. So I was traveling through the Singapore airport. So there was a diamond shop. And I stopped at this diamond shop. Couldn't afford it, just looking at the diamonds. And there was this small diamond, very small. And I said to the shopkeeper, is this a special diamond? It is on display and it is alone. He said, it's a very special diamond. I didn't understand carrots and this and that. And I said, how much is it? He said, $100,000. And I looked at him, I said, this $100,000? He said, yes, $100,000. I said, does anyone buy this? He said, 6, 7 people every day. That was even more shocking. Then I couldn't digest that. So I looked to the right and I found there was another cabinet, because this one was sitting alone. There was another cabinet, and there were many other stones that were much larger than this stone, much larger, much more beautiful. I thought that these stones have to be 500,000. If this is 100,000, this has to be 500,000. So I said, this one looks beautiful. She says, yes, it's stunning. I said, how much is this? She said, $100. I said, I thought this was going to be $500,000. She says, you do not know the price. You cannot differentiate between stones. Come back to the current verse. Ya ayyuhal insan. Every human being is a stone. By the effort that he makes, the evaluator will put a price to you. Every human being is a stone. Insan. Every human being is a stone. Qadhan ila rabbika. Every person is to return back with a package of effort. I can't give you a value. You grow the beard, you wear the hijab, you pray salah, you wake up for the nocturnal prayer, you stick to piety, taqwa, you lower your gaze. Dunya can't give you a label to that. Dunya can't give a price to that. It's just like expecting the dunya to reward you, just like me trying to understand the difference between these stones. I don't know. The true evaluator is Allah Almighty. He knows what you have done. And basically the effort that we are making is that on the day of judgment, Him, the true qadi, the true judge, the true evaluator, does not treat us as a stone. Because a stone, there are thousands of stones on the road. People trample over it, people drive over it, children pick it up, throw it from one corner to another corner, and there are many unlucky stones that are kicked into the gutter. Many stones are kicked into the gutter. And basically that's what's going to happen to humans. They are like stones. They have the ability to be transformed into diamonds, into rubies, into emeralds. They need to polish. This polish is known as tazkiyah, purification. The more they polish themselves, the greater the price is. So Nabi Kareem Muhammad is that beautiful diamond that is sitting alone. He's sitting alone in one cabinet. Nothing can come close to him. Then there are other cabinets that hold diamonds that are less in price, in value, in status. And these are basically the other Anbiya. And then it comes the ummats. So Allah Almighty in this verse is saying that, oh insan, you are going to surely return back to your Creator, make the right effort. Because at the end of the day, you cannot exonerate yourself and free yourself from effort. You're going to have to make an effort. Maulvis don't see this. I don't think so myself, and Maulana Akram see this, but many people in the morning when they are late, or basically this becomes their habit, they're running to their office, they're making an effort, and they don't even have quite time to have breakfast. They're on the run eating. True? On their run, eating. Alhamdulillah, Maulvis don't eat like that. Now we eat, mashallah, we sit down and we enjoy our meal. And not only Maulvis, Deedar people. Allah gives them that time and that barakah, they can sit down and eat. But people that are pursuing the wrong thing, that basically is not going to propel them to the next podium, and basically they will find themselves very short from the true podium of Jannah. They don't even have time, quiet time, to have a good meal. They're on the run all the time. So no one can acquit and exonerate himself from effort. So isn't it better that we choose the right effort? We're all going to make an effort. Choose the right effort. Choose the right effort. I'm going to make mention of a few things. Hazrat Asma'i, rahimahullah, he says something amazing. He says, Ish musiran aw mu'siran. Ish musiran aw mu'siran. La Buddha fi dunya min al-ham. Live in ease or live in difficulty. Live in ease or live in difficulty. There is no doubt that worry will come your way. Hum is going to come your way. It doesn't matter if you are that one stone in that one cabinet. Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Worry is going to come your way. Effort is going to come your way. Toil is going to come your way. Choose the right effort. Choose the right thing for yourself in terms of this small domain and that massive domain. Don't depend upon this domain alone, because then you will deprive yourself of that domain. Whenever a decision is made, keep both domains, both realms in front, and then make a decision. As a Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam, I was reading, and it's hard for me to fathom this, but Imam Razi says, Hazrat Jibreel met Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in 23 years, 28,000 times. 28,000 times. And that's why Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam always make him miswak. And Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa says, Ya Rasulullah, you are going to harm your gums. They're going to start to bleed. Itni miswak. Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, I have to keep my mouth clean because I speak with a makhluk that is very, very sensitive to the smell of the mouth. And he's not invited. He comes whenever he wants. He comes whenever he wants. So the Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam is giving advice to Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and basically this advice is not for the Nabi. It is for us, so we can understand where we stand and what we should be doing. So it has been said, Imam Ibn Kathir has recorded this as well, that Hazrat Jibreel said, Ya Muhammad, O Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Aish ma shi'ta fa innaka mayyitun. Live as you want. Live as you want, with set of laws or with no set of laws. Live as you want. Islam does not impose itself upon anyone. Pray, don't pray. Gamble, don't gamble. Ish ma shi'ta. Live as you want. But keep in mind, فَإِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ, the end is death. If there was no death, then we could live as we want. Basically, this is what Jibreel is saying to Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If there was no death, and there was no life on the other side, then a person can free himself, exonerate himself from set of laws. But basically, these set of laws are there to entitle us to a very lofty package of success on the other side. Ishma shi'ta fa innaka mayyitun. You're going to die. Wa ahbib man shi'ta fa innaka mufariq. And love whoever you want. Love whoever you want. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. But keep in mind, one day the one that you love will be taken away from you. And basically, as Ali radiallahu ta'ala an's sentiments echo at this moment, when he was standing in front of the grave of his wife, the daughter of Nabi Kareem Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, for whom the Nabi of Allah said, Fatima tu bid'atun minni. Fatima is a part of me. And he was standing there and he said that if love was loyal, if there was any loyalty with love, then today my wife would not depart. and she has departed. So basically, as the Jibreel is saying, that if you really want to love somebody, where there is no love above that, then dedicate that love to Allah Almighty. Because He will not desert everyone else. There's no one greater than mother and father when it's true love. No strings attached. Even the wife, there's strings attached. Mother and father, no strings attached. Their love is absolutely pure. But ek din unhone chale jana. Mother and father will leave. And there's a probability that the child will leave before the mother and the father. And how many times we've seen that? So as Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam says to the Nabi of Allah, وَأَحْبِبْ مَنْ شِئْتَ فَإِنَّكَ مُفَارِقُ. Love whoever you want, but one day there will be a separation. Now keep in mind, on the day of judgment, there's going to be this one ugly with a capital U, ugly person that will be presented. And the sight will discuss humanity. The sight will discuss humanity. Ugh. I have never ever come across a person, even if the person is deformed, it doesn't make you vomit. True? It doesn't make you vomit. But this person and the appearance is so disgusting that a person wants to vomit. And basically this will be a personification of dunya. This will be the physical form of dunya. And it will be, Allah will say, hold this person that represents dunya and throw it into the hellfire. Now listen to what happens. And I'm just going to give you a depiction of this. So let's say this is that dunya. Angels grab it and the dunya says, wait. Wait. So the angels release. He says, your Nabi, Nabi Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba. A person will be with him who he loves. Indeed, I am wrong. I am evil. I deserve to be thrown. But according to the statement of your Habib, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all those that love me should be thrown with me. At that time, millions and millions of people that disregarded the set of laws designed, constructed by Allah Almighty will be thrown with dunya. Person will say, iski. And that's why they call it guna be lazzat. Urdu mein kehte hain guna be lazzat. Koi guna to karo, maza to aaye. Iske liye. Itni badsurat cheez. Such an ugly thing, and I was living for this. And that's why it has been said that close to Qiyamah, the river of Euphrates, Dajjal Furat, river of Euphrates, will change its direction by the will of Allah Almighty. And when it changes its direction, underneath there will be columns, pillars of gold and silver. So the river of Euphrates, it will change direction, and underneath there will be columns of gold and silver. So a thief whose hand was amputated will stand there and he will curse himself, because there will be no value attached to gold and silver, because it will be in a large volume. And he will say, how foolish was I that I stole and my hand was amputated. One person, he broke ties with his family members. He will curse himself because of this dunya that lies in columns and in pillars. I gave up my relationships. Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba, thrown in with this dunya. So Nabi Kareem Muhammad sallallahu was told by Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, wa ahbib man shi'ta. You can love whoever you want, فَإِنَّكَ مَفَارِقُ. But keep in mind, one day there will be a separation. وَعْلَمْ أَنَّ شَرَفَ الْمُؤْمِنِ You should know, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that indeed the dignity, the honor, the true status of a believer is salatuhu bil-layl. It is the establishment of the nocturnal prayer, the night prayer. وَعِزُّهُ إِسْتِغْنَاهُ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And his izzat is basically when he frees himself from the commodities and belongings of others. One person is rich, he doesn't focus upon his richnesses. He doesn't focus upon his commodities. He acquits himself, exonerates himself, and he only relies and focuses upon the treasures of Allah Almighty. That's why they say the true rich person is that person that is blessed with istighna. Istighna. If you're the wealthiest person, but you are focusing upon the goods of other people, you are a pauper, you are a destitute person. And if you have nothing, but you don't focus upon the goods of others, you are the richest person. Keep in mind. Now, I'm going to conclude this with a story. In madrasas in 1984-85 in Pakistan, we used to study Farsi. Of course, that syllabus has changed, and it's good that it changed. But we used to study Farsi, and there was a book known as Pandnama. Pandnama, 100 advices. 100 advices. The author of this Pandnama, and it was amazing advices, his name was Fariduddin Attar. Now, as we all know, Attar is the one that sells fragrances. Fariduddin Attar. And it has been said about him that how did he change his life? What was the changing point in his life? So he said that he had a massive shop in which he used to sell attar, fragrance. So just visualize, this is the shop, and there are small containers, bottles, in which there is attar lying, and it's surrounding the entire shop. And Fariduddin is sitting like this in the middle. So there was one saintly person, he was passing by. And he could feel that Fariduddin Attar has great potential to pass through the different stages and find himself on the highest podium, but he's wasting his time. This is engulfing him. He has been drenched in this. So the person came inside and he said, "Oh, Fariduddin Attar, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm selling attar." He said, "It seems like your soul is connected to each bottle. A person has too much, it's very hard to give up life." Think about it, a person has 10,000 bungalows, all right? He has properties in every country, and his time of death, his soul is connected everywhere. Our mashayikh say that at the time of death, even family members sit for a little while and tell them to leave. My own shaykh, when he was passing away, he met his family members and said, "Now leave, it's for me and Allah now. The last moments I want to spend making tawbah and speaking to Allah." If the family members are there, your soul is connected with the family members. It's hard to experience death. It's hard to give up. Think about it, wife there, children there, they're crying. You become emotional. This is a very special time. It is a time where all the past, because the Nabi of Allah says, "Ma lam yugharghir," tawbah is accepted until the death rattle. So if a person makes tawbah right now, but we have to create an environment that is conducive to that tawbah. Does it make sense? So Fariduddin Attar, he had so many jars that he was selling, some expensive, some less expensive, and this sage said that your soul is linked to every single jar, that when Malakul Maut comes, it will be very hard for you to give up this dunya. So Fariduddin Attar, he responded and he said, "How will your soul go? Who do you think you are?" He had nothing to lose. So what he did is, he brought a brick, put the brick on the ground, put his head on the brick, said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Malakul Maut came, designed by Allah, and he died. He said, wow. It's amazing. He said he gave his life so easily. He thought about it that I can't depart like this. My soul will not be extracted in this design. He gave up everything. He sold the shop. And he dedicated the remaining part of his life to the ibadat of Allah Almighty. And later on he was known as Fariduddin Attar. And basically he was the Musannif of Pannama, that was a very famous book of advice. Like Shaykh Sa'di, Rahimahullah, Gulistan and Bawastan that we used to study in Madaris. So many different types of advices in it. So basically this effort, the right effort, progressive effort, right effort, progressive effort. If one person, we used to study in our schools long time ago, the competition between the rabbit and the turtle. Now the finishing line is right at the end. We'll conclude on this. The finishing line is right at the end. So the tortoise starts. Direction is right. The rabbit, his direction is right as well. So the rabbit starts very quick. Whoa! In quick time, zoom! Bugs Bunny is gone, halfway through. He looks back, oh, the tortoise is right at the back. So what does the rabbit do? He said, I'll sit down. I'm ahead. I've got a head start. He lies down and he rests. He falls asleep. What happens is, effort is made by both, but it's not progressive. Bugs Bunny stopped. The tortoise didn't stop. Every day chipping away, little by little. Every day chipping away, little by little. It surpassed the rabbit. And when the rabbit woke up, found that the tortoise had passed the finishing mark and had made it into the destination before him. So our direction is right. Effort is right. Do not become stagnant. It has to be progressive. Every day chip away. And this is the message of Ya ayyuhal insan innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqi. Allah give us tawfiq. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.